Revenge films.
My name is Mary, and I'm a 34-year-old housewife. My husband Ted is a total mama's boy, and he depends on his mother for everything. Ted is 36 years old, and his mother is 62. I consulted my father-in-law several times about how Ted is too dependent on his mother.
I don't think Ted is gonna listen to me. He's pretty stubborn.
Aside from his reputation with his mother, things between Ted and I were going well. I was willing to overlook Ted's relationship with his mother, but something happened 5 months ago which made me change my mind. That day, I had planned to go see a movie with a friend from high school. But as soon as I arrived to the movie theater, I received a text message from my friend telling me that she wasn't able to make it because her daughter had a fever. I had no choice but to go home. I knew that my husband wasn't expecting me to come home for a few hours, but I didn't bother to let him know that I was coming home early. I didn't think that it mattered. When I got home, I saw a pair of shoes belonging to a woman at the entrance. For a second, I thought that my husband was cheating on me. But then I remembered that Ted had told me that morning that his mother was coming over to the house. Ted never helped me out with the household chores, but I didn't have any issues with that since I had planned to go out with my friend tonight. His mother was supposed to cook dinner for Ted. I was planning on thanking Ted's mother for helping out when I saw her. I went into the kitchen, but I didn't see either of them there. I found the two of them in the living room. To my horror, they were naked and going at it in my living room. What the hell is going on in here? You two are crazy!
This isn't what it looks like!
Am I watching a modern version of Oedipus? How could you do this with your own mother? I'm going to be sick. I knew that I had the right reaction to what I saw. It was abnormal and unacceptable. He cheated on me with his own mother! This was disgusting and not something that I could get over. For some reason, Ted's mother was very calm. She glared at me as if she was annoyed that I had interrupted her time with Ted.
How dare you look at us with such scorn? This is just a sacred ritual between a mother and her son.
I was speechless. What was this crazy woman going on about? How could she try to rationalize what she had done? If it had been with anyone but her blood relatives, I may have been able to get over it. This was unacceptable in every part of the world. They were insane! A sacred ritual? You must be joking! You should be ashamed of yourself!
Shut up! It makes us both feel good, okay?
After I heard this, I could feel vomit coming up from my stomach, and I couldn't hold it in any longer and vomited onto the floor. I now knew that they were doing this out of pleasure rather than love. It now all makes sense. I always thought the two of you were too close. How long has this been going on?
Before you two were married.
So basically, Ted married me knowing that he was going to continue his sexual affair with his own mother? This is so unbelievable!
Well, I couldn't tell you. You wouldn't have married me if I had.
This is not something that you lie about, Ted. I definitely wouldn't have married you if I knew this. You tricked me! The three of us continued to argue in the living room. I had no idea why they were being so defensive. It was clear that I was the victim here. Out of rage, I nearly strangled my mother-in-law, and Ted had to put a stop to it. After that, Ted went home to his parents' house with his mother, so I was alone in our house. Not that I cared. When I looked around the living room, I saw that Ted and his mother had left in such a hurry that they forgot to clean up after themselves. I couldn't believe that this was happening to me. Not only did my husband cheat on me in the worst way possible, I was forced to clean up after their act of lovemaking. This was a living nightmare, and most likely the worst moment in my life. Well, I wasn't going to let them screw me over like this. I was going to get revenge. The following morning, I woke up early and headed to Ted's parents' place. I'm not sure what my father-in-law knew at that point, but I wasn't going to hide anything from him. When I explained the details of what I had found out the night before, Ted's father was in dismay.
What am I supposed to say to this? You two are sick!
This is your fault, too. You show no affection towards me.
Don't try to blame this on me! It's clear to everyone but yourselves that what you did is wrong and unforgivable!
Fine. Do you want a divorce then? I don't care. I still have Ted, and he is the only one that I need in my life.
How twisted is your relationship? This is so messed up. I knew the two of them were crazy, and that they didn't see anything abnormal about their relationship. I figured that it would be quicker to state what I wanted out of the situation. Ted, I'm divorcing you as well. If you don't want that, you need to cut all ties with your parents. Ted didn't respond at all in the way that I had expected.
Okay, let's get divorced then.
Wow, that was fast. Comes to show that you never loved me in the first place.
My relationship with my mother is the most important one in my life. We satisfy each other in ways that others can't.
I agree. We must be a good fit, seeing that we're so close to one another.
Gross. How was I supposed to respond to something like that? Their relationship was so sick beyond my imagination. To be honest, I didn't want to spend another minute being married to Ted, but they needed to pay for what they did to me. Okay, fine. Let's get a divorce then, seeing that you're so in love with your mother. But in return, you're going to pay me a lot of alimony. That's the least that I deserve.
Yes, go ahead. We don't care. We're thrilled that we don't need to keep our relationship a secret anymore.
Do you hear the filth coming out of your mouth? Aren't you embarrassed?
I pity you. It must suck that your husband loves his mother more than his wife.
I was starting to think that Ted's mother had wanted me to catch them in the act. She was despicable. She must have been jealous of me this entire time. With me out of the picture, she can have Ted all to herself. But I didn't want to give her the satisfaction of thinking that she took everything from me. I was trying to figure out a way to make her feel bad about what she had done to me. This is when Ted's father, who had been quiet up until now, came to my rescue.
Do you hear yourselves? What gives you the right to be so cavalier? How do you plan on paying alimony to both Mary and me?
I've been saving up, and after we got divorced, Ted is going to support me financially.
That's right. I'll take care of you, Mom. You do realize that I own this house, and that after the divorce, you and Ted will need to move out and get your own place, right? And you won't get a penny from me from the divorce.
We don't mind. Ted and I can take care of ourselves.
And how are you going to do that? Ted works for one of my client companies, and I'm not going to continue doing business with them if they continue to employ Ted. You wouldn't do that to me, would you, Dad? I'm your son!
What?
Ted and his mother were complete idiots. All they cared about was living together, and they hadn't put any thought as to how they were going to make a living together. Up until now, Ted's father had been supporting the two of them financially. Without his help, they wouldn't be able to continue living the way they do now. That's why I had come here today. I knew that Ted's father would play a crucial role in my plan for revenge. Things were starting to look up for me.
Mary, how much money do you want to ask from them?
I'd like at least $10,000 from each.
That's too little. You should ask for at least $30,000 from each.
Thank you for the advice. I'll do just that.
How am I supposed to come up with $60,000? We won't be able to pay such a high amount if Ted loses his job.
Ted and his mother finally saw that things were not going to be easy for them going forward, and they began to panic.
I see how wrong I was now! Mary, please forgive me!
It was too late to ask for my forgiveness. We're not going to forgive you for what you did to us. You should think about how your poor choices have hurt your father and I.
You both need to find new jobs and work hard to make up for what you did to us. Wait, I'll cut all ties with Mom! Will you forgive me if I do that?
Ted, are you going to betray me like this?
It looks like what Ted felt for you wasn't love, just a twisted form of lust. If you really loved each other, you'd do anything for one another, even if it meant being poor for the rest of your life. So Ted and his mother started living their new lives. It wasn't going to be easy for them. Ted's father made sure that none of his business partners hired Ted. Ted and his mother could only get menial jobs, so they are really struggling to get by. I heard a rumor that because of all the hardships, Ted's mother is starting to go senile. I guess Ted gave up his marriage to spend the rest of his life taking care of his aging mother. This is probably not what he signed up for. But to be honest, what they did to me was terrible, and I don't really care what happens to them. They deserve to suffer. As for me, I started to work again. My workplace happened to consist mainly of male employees, so many of my colleagues have taken interest in me romantically. I'll probably be able to find a new husband at my workplace if I really wanted to, but after what happened with Ted, I'm going to take my time to find a decent man. One thing is for sure, I don't want to marry another man that is overly attached to his mother.
How was today's video? If you enjoyed it, please subscribe, like, and leave a comment. Stay tuned for more.